Tupac's family is talking about possibly filing a lawsuit against Diddy if they found out that he actually paid the $1 million to kill Tupac. Also, Keefe D admitted that Corey Edwards was there at the initial meeting at Greenblatt's when the $1 million was promised. Oh yeah. Let's get into some of this straight game.
Life is like cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't not already. Also, if you would like to be one of the first people notified when I drop some of this straight game, please do me a favor and click on what appears to be that little bell notification right below this video. I'm going to get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, we've seen what happened in court. It's been 7 days. The judge gave Keefe D's attorney a week to provide the information that was needed for him to possibly make bail. That still might be a possibility. The fact that Cash Jones, WAC 100, wasn't the middleman. And so we are waiting. Yesterday would have been 7 days, if you will. And so more importantly, just recently, in the courtroom, we heard the prosecution mention Corey Edwards' name in regards to what he had testified to about the who was in Vegas and who was in the car at that particular time, and the fact that he was in Vegas and he saw Keefe D in Vegas that night of September 7th, 1996. But not only that, and this is before the fact of it being in Vegas. This was the initial meeting in which Keefe D had admitted that Corey Edwards was there, and at the initial meeting at Greenblatt's in Hollywood on Sunset Boulevard, the night that Sean Puffy Combs allegedly offered the $1 million to possibly shoot or kill, or should I say put the hit on Suge Knight and Tupac. And this is very, very interesting, and I'm going to read it to you because you got to understand that it doesn't get any better than this as far as when the person is their own best witness against themselves and information they did during a proffer interview versus not speaking out after that proffer interview was done and not understanding that and knowing the legal repercussions that could come behind that if they did speak out and keep admitting to what they did. And so this is very important. I want you to see this because Keefe D, in fact, then admits that Corey was there at the initial meeting. And Corey basically told the police, according to the DA, who was in the car and that he had seen Keefe D in Vegas that night also. So check this out. Detective Greg Kading, tell us what happened that made it something other than just him frustrating and boasting. Man, I'll give you guys anything. What made it specific? Like, hey, I'm serious. I want you guys to kill these guys. Keefe D, when he told me at Greenblatt's. Greg Kading, how did that go? Like, what was the conversation? Federal agent. And who is he? So listen, the federal agents, and now you know the feds were involved and are involved and were involved from the inception at the time that Keefe D was locked up for the drug case. And the federal agents, they were there as well as the local police department and Greg Kading, who was representing them at that time. And federal agent says, and who is he? And Keefe D says, Puff. Greg Kading says, how the conversation go? We need really specific details regarding that. Keefe D, we wanted $1 million. Detective, all right. So you meet him at Greenblatt's for lunch or dinner or what? Keefe D, that was dinner in the evening. Detective, who else was there? All of us. Corey, everybody. Pause. Y'all understand what's going on now? And this is why I say I don't think that Keefe D can beat this case. He basically said that Corey Edwards was there. So not only do they have, if they wanted to file a case against Sean Puffy Combs, not only do they have Keefe D, but they also have Corey Edwards. Keefe D says all of us, Corey, everybody, all our crew, right? Detective Caden goes in to say, everybody's hearing this conversation between you and Puff. He was talking to me. When we got there, we was like laughing at him because he had this broad with him that sucked dick and sucked everybody's dick in there, and he's all held up and kissing up on her. We was laughing like a motherfucker. He was like, man, what y'all laughing at, dog? Man, don't just come out here and get any broad, dog. He took me downstairs and he's like, man, I want to get rid of these dudes, man. I was like, we'll wipe their ass out real quick. It's nothing. Now, so once again, the confirmation of a meeting at Greenblatt's, if you will, when you think about it from that perspective, you got to understand, Keefe D has always said it wasn't his intention to try to, point the picture or point the finger at anybody else and get them involved with the situation, if you will. But it seems as if every time something happens, Keefe D is mentioning somebody else's name as well. He's mentioned, like I say, he mentioned Foxy Brown's name. He mentioned his nephew's name. He mentioned everybody's name who was in the car. And these are the things that he told Greg Kading, as well as you saw with what I just posted, is not just Greg Kading, but you go back, the federal agent. So the FBI was also there. But I wanna take you to this. I want to take you to this. So now, if it wasn't really his intention, this is also in that filing and everything that's in there that goes along with that. Ex-gang leader Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, who was charged with murder for the death of Tupac Shakur, reportedly suggested to police that Sean Puffy Combs was paid $1 million to have the rap icon killed. So this has been a running story for a long time. The mainstream media has just picked this up based on the prosecution's filing against Keefe D and mentioning Sean Puffy Combs' name in that their new filing, right? Listen, Davis has asserted publicly that he only told on himself and wasn't trying to provide evidence against anyone else in his conversations with police. So this was during interviews on YouTube in which Keefe D basically asserted publicly that he was only trying to tell on himself and wasn't trying to provide evidence against anyone else in his conversations with police. Courtroom documents filed July 18th by the Clark County District Attorney's Office and obtained by Fox 5 Wednesday read, however, this statement belies this claim, as he suggested that Sean Combs paid drug dealer Eric Von Zip Martin $1 million for the killing, as well as offered to set up a surreptitious phone call with Terrence Brown, the driver, who at the time was still alive. So let's get this straight. Keefe D said in interviews on YouTube that he was only trying to tell on himself. This is all going to be played in court, right? At the time, I was only trying to tell on myself. I wasn't trying to tell on nobody else. But in saying what he was saying and explaining it, he was mentioning other people's names, if you will, right? This is a fact. They're going to play it in court. They have the video evidence showing that. Then the prosecution basically objecting to what Keefe D is saying, basically made a filing. And in that filing, they're basically saying that, hey, hold on. However, in their filing on July 18th, they say, however, this statement that Keefe D has made belies this claim, as he suggested that Sean Puffy Combs paid drug dealer Eric Von Zip the $1 million for the killings, as well as offered to set up a surreptitious phone call with Terrence Brown, the driver, who was alive at the time. So Keefe D had agreed with the federal government during the time that he was being investigated by Greg Kading and the feds to set up a phone call with Terrence Brown to get him on the phone, right? Remember, Keefe D's facing all of this time from these drug charges. You know, he's trying to get out. He's trying to wiggle his way out. So one minute he says, well, you know, I only told on myself. I wasn't trying to tell on nobody else. But then they got documents, like I said, which were in that brown box. All of these statements basically saying that, hey, hold on. Not only did he go and wear a wire against Zip, he was also willing to set up a phone call with Terrence Brown, who was alive at that particular time. Amazing. And so, like I said, this just gets stranger and stranger. And then we talk about Sean Puffy Combs' family. Tupac's family basically saying that they're gonna, you know, if they find out any truth, that there's any truth to this, based on the statement that Keefe D, the one that I just made to you in regards to the filing with the court, in which they're going to be using also, about Keefe D basically saying that, hey, yo, we was at Greenblatt's. Let's go back to that. We was at Greenblatt's, and, you know, Corey was there. He asking, well, you know, Greg Kading and the FBI agent asking, well, hey, you know, who was there, right? Federal agent. Who is he? Puff. Detective Kading. How does the conversation go? We really need specific details. We wanted $1 million, right? Okay. Keefe D. Was this, you know, Greg Kading asking, so where was this? Where was it at? Lunch, dinner? Keefe D. This was dinner in the evening. Detective Kading. Who else was there? All of us. Corey, everybody. All our crew. Now, check this out. Because, like I said before, the prosecution in that last bail hearing, in which they were trying to get the bail reinstated, right? Or reconsidered, should I say. They mentioned Corey Edwards' name as testifying to the police that he was in Vegas and he seen Keefe D in Vegas. I don't know where Corey Edwards is at this particular time, but he's still alive. And they made that known in court also. But this one here is, the funny part is that Keefe D admits that Corey Edwards was at that initial meeting when the alleged $1 million was offered. So Corey Edwards can testify to a lot, and he has a lot of knowledge in regards to this situation. And so, yeah, it just gets stranger and stranger as the days go on. And like I said, it was 7 days that the judge gave Keefe D's lawyer to actually come up with the proof that WAC 100 wasn't the middleman. And we're gonna see if he gets out. Like I said, you know, I only like talking about the facts. I don't like to do speculation. I don't like to do innuendo. I don't like to do, you know, these ghost theories and things like that. These are actual statements of facts that were made by Keefe D, and statement of facts that were made by Corey Edwards in regards to the investigation and how the prosecution intends on moving ahead with this case and what they have in their arsenal as evidence. And like I said, once again, with Keefe D, as much as he's talked and all of the things that he said, I don't think that he stands a good chance in winning this case. Once again, the prosecution or the police didn't have to place Corey Edwards at that Greenblatt meeting. Keefe D placed him there. Keefe D mentioned his name. You understand what I'm saying? And so when the prosecution then says in court, doing the reconsideration for the bail, that Corey Edwards testified in 2006 before any arrest was made or any deal was made in regards to Keefe D getting a proffer agreement, that's hella evidence, man. That's hella evidence when you think about, you know, the mirroring of that. And, well, how would Corey Edwards know? Now we know how Corey Edwards would know, because Keefe D said that he was at the meeting at Greenblatt's. You get it? So it's going to be very interesting, man. Like I said, your boy DELRAY, straight gang.